Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm doing a tutorial on the Marilyn wallet. It's really cute, really pretty, fun sew. Once you get the pattern down, it's pretty awesome. I try to go along with the pattern just as it's written to make it easy to follow. Look at this cute wallet. You got these pockets. You can fit your phone. You can fit checkbook for people who still carry checkbooks. I don't know. People do it. Oh, it's upside down. Huh. All your card slots. It's got 8 card slots, and it's got this zipper pocket in the back for change. It's just a cool little wallet. So enjoy this tutorial. Subscribe to my channel, please. Pretty please. It would make me so happy. Enjoy my tutorial. Thank you. Hey guys, let's talk about the pieces for our Marilyn wallet that we'll need. I interfaced most of my pieces with 809. I think it just makes it kind of lighter. She suggests using SF101, which is also woven fused, and you can totally use that too. But I just had 809 on hand, so that's what I used for mine. I think either will be just fine. So all my main pieces. And then in this one, it calls for Peltex, which a lot of wallets do just to make it nice and sturdy and stiff. So you're going to want to cut out your Peltex pieces. This will be, it won't be fused right now. We're going to insert it in the end. So have that one. And then this as well, we're going to insert it into our flap after we make our flap. And then the only other Peltex pieces we'll need are these little tiny 1/2 inch strips. And you're going to fuse those to the pieces that the pattern calls for. And then I've got my flap. I just kind of pieced it together to make this cute little center part, the floral, and then this is just vinyl. I'm using vinyl for my wallet, and so I've got that, and I've got this for my vinyl. I'm not backing my vinyl with anything because it's pretty thick. If you have a thinner material, the pattern calls for fleece, and make sure you cut it out of the seams. And other than that, everything should be good. So let's get started with putting this wallet together. Okay guys, I just moved my ironing board in here so you guys can see what I'm doing. So on her pattern, she doesn't have specific measurements for you to do. She wants you to cut out a piece of, she suggests cardstock. I just did it out of like a placemat thing because that's what I had. And you're going to mark down a 1/2 inch. And this is how you're going to determine how big your card slots are. So to start, we mark the front side of our card slots, 2 inches down on each side. And then 6 inches down from the mark that we just made. After I made this wallet, I went ahead and I measured all my folds, so next time I can just use my measurements, but I'm showing you the way that the pattern does it. But if you wanted to measure it all out after you did it like I did, so you can just, I'm better with just having measurements. So you want to pinch where we made the 6 inch mark. We're going to bring it up to our 2 mark right there, and you're going to iron that. Iron that. And I do not have any backing on my card slot piece. It's just cotton. You interface it after you do all the folds and everything. I am going to try a wallet with just interfacing with 809 before. I don't know how thick it'll make it, so we'll see. Okay, so you want to get your cardstock piece, or your cardstock, or your whatever piece you cut out for your measurements, and you're going to take this and you're going to fold it up. So I've got this in line with that first fold I did with the measurements. I put my piece down and I'm bringing this piece up to that line, that black line that I made. And that's going to be my next fold. Make sure it's kind of even though. Okay, and that's my next fold. And then I'm going to iron that. And then you're going to do that until you have five folds. Top of that piece that I just folded. Take this up to that black line right there. Don't move all your pieces. See, I'd rather just have measurements, but I'm trying to do it the way that the pattern tells you here. Okay. And then iron that. Again, up. And these do not have to be perfect. I mean, yeah. And one more. So I have 5 folds. Okay. Okay. Okay, so that's what we have. Now, it's going to be too big, so we need to cut it down. So, cut this. It needs to be 8 inches high. So I'm cutting down at the bottom off at 8. Okay. And then 6 wide. So you're going to probably be trimming off a little bit of your sides. I'm going to do both my sides because they're kind of wonky to make them even. Come on. Looks like I should have replaced my blade again. Oh my goodness. Okay. And on the other side. All right. So that's what we have when we're done. Okay. And then we're going to take that card slot and we're going to mark our middle. Oh, it wants you to fuse first. Sorry. Let's fuse our interfacing real quick. So you should have 2 little pieces of woven fuse. I could have done 809 woven fuse, whatever. I actually did do woven fuse for this one. You're just going to kind of put it on the back. And you're going to have a space between the 2 pieces. About 1/4 of an inch between them, just like that. And we're going to fuse that on there, okay? Ignore my old ironing board. I've had this forever. It's very loved. Okay, so I'm not doing a vinyl card slot. If you are doing a vinyl card slot, go ahead and follow the directions and do that right now. I just don't have any clear vinyl on me at the moment, so I'm not going to worry about that. Okay. So that's our card slot. And now we're going to mark it middle. So it's 6 inches wide, so mark the middle. Okay, and we're going to sew all that. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to sew down 1/8 of an inch stitch down here. We're going to come up just alongside of this line and go back down and then come up over this one because we're going to cut this in half and make it 2. I should move this. Sorry, let me move this a little closer. There we go. And I'm just using like a 4.5 stitch, 4.5 length. Okay, and then go over to that middle line just on the side of it. And then back down. And then back up on the other side. Okay. Those are our card slots. And then I'm going to cut that down the center. Okay, so you should have 2 card slots there. So next you want to get your card accent pieces and your Peltex strips. Hopefully you've already ironed those on. So these and these. So I am using, this is like a canvas, so I didn't interface it with anything because it's already pretty thick. So I'm just using it as is. So we have our accent pieces. Sorry, I'm trying to find the best angle for this here. Maybe right there. Okay, so we have our accent pieces and we have the Peltex. So we are going to take our card slots, make sure they're going up. We're going to place that on the side where the Peltex is. Okay, so it should be right there. And we're going to sew that at a 1/4 inch seam allowance on that side. Okay, and then do that for your other piece. So same thing. These 2, just like that. So we got it 2 different ways here because we need both sides. So this one's on the left. The other one was on the right. And then we're going to sew down 1/4 inch as well. Okay, so after you have those sewn on, you're just going to press. same thing with this one. I'm just going to press. Okay. All right. And then we want to take our accent pieces and you're going to put them face down on the other side of the card slot. Just like that. Because then we're going to fold them over like that. I'll show you. Okay. Sew that at 1/4 of an inch as well. Okay. Same thing with the other side. Sorry, I have a child opening and closing the door. All right. And then you're going to press that open. Just right there. Press that one open. All right. So this is what we have. Okay, 2 of those. Now we are going to fold them over. Just like that. Okay? And then we want to make sure that we have the right size going on here. We want them 4 by 8. So I clip them like this. Okay, let's see, what have I got here? Yep. Yep. Okay, make sure it's 4 by 8. And it should be, if you're been measuring along the way, make sure your card slots were the right. All right. 8, 4, beautiful. Okay, so now I'm going to top stitch. Just right here and right here. And then I'm going to close it shut right there. So I'm not top stitching on the card slots. I'm top stitching next to them. Right next to that seam. All right. So I top stitch there and I top stitch there. This is my Peltex side. This says a raw end and this does not, because that's going to be our slip pocket side. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. So our card slots are done. That's what we have. Okay, and next we're just gonna put those aside for a minute. And we're gonna get our 2 liner pieces and our pin pocket pieces. So these are my liner and these are my pin pocket pieces. So you should have 2 pin pocket pieces here. Okay, one's bigger than the other. You're gonna take the longer one and you're gonna fold it in half. And then you're gonna just top stitch it right here. Okay. And then we're gonna line it up on this pin pocket piece, just like this. Just making a tiny little slip pocket here. And you want to baste those together. I don't think I even need to clip it really. Come on. I'll clip the bottom edges here. All right, and then baste that onto that piece. Hopefully the lighting's better in this video. I think it is. Okay, so I'm just basting because we don't want to see these stitch lines. Okay, so this is what we have now. And then we're going to piece it onto our lining pieces. So I'm going to lay it face down on one of these. And I'm going to stitch that on. 1/4 of an inch. I'm just gonna finger press it open for right now, okay? So that's what we have, and now we're gonna do this side. So take our other piece and lay it down on top of there and sew that on. Press that out, just like that. So that is what I have. Now, your measurements are not exact, so you have to cut this down. Oh, I'm gonna top stitch too. I'm gonna top stitch real quick, these two, my 2 liner pieces. All right, and then I'm gonna measure this out because we're gonna have to trim it down. It needs to be 9 by 8. So I'm going to take this ruler. So we want 4 on each side and 1 in the middle, okay? So I'm going to put that at the 4 mark there. That's going to be my middle. I have 4 inches, 1 inch where my pin slot is, and then it's going to be 4 more inches that way. So I'm going to have to trim that down, okay? I'm just going to use my mat here with the measurements. So again, you want this to be 1 inch and then 4, and trim that down. Okay, and then same thing on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Trim that down. And then you want it to be 8 inches high. So just, you're gonna have to trim it just a tiny bit, and I'm gonna do it off the top here. So I don't want to take away from my pin piece pocket down there. Okay. You will, if you do the same measurements as the pattern, you will have to trim down. That's just all there is to it. That's how she made the pattern pieces. So you have wiggle room, which I kind of like the idea that I have wiggle room. Okay, so you've got this piece done. You're going to take your cardstock or your card pieces. We're going to line raw edges up. Okay. Just like this. And this side as well. It should match pretty well with your little pin lining there, or your pin piece. Okay. Okay, so that's what I have. Now, what we have to do is round our edges on this real quick. So I'm going to take my pattern piece. Where are my good scissors? I can't find them. Okay, so you need to have it facing towards you like this, because our wallet is this way, right? So you're gonna line up this piece, actually on top here. Sorry. Oh, nope. Like this. And we're just gonna be rounding off these corners ever so slightly. Okay, on both sides. It's not much. You might be able to just eyeball it too. And then we're just gonna trim those. Did I do it right? Yeah. Okay, ever so slightly, just a tiny, well, it should be facing this way, just a tiny trim on my corners. Now I'm going to baste these cardstocks onto my backing. So I'm just going around all of the edges. And that is your lining all done. So that's your innards. You got your card slots here. Make sure they're facing up the right way. And these are my little pocket slot for other things. Okay, so you're gonna set this aside and we're gonna move on to the flap. All right, so your flat pieces, I just have mine. I did back this canvas one with Decaville Light just to give it a good sturdy feel. We are adding Peltex in it too, but I just want to make double sure that my flap is sturdy. So I did Decaville Light on that one too. All right. So I am doing a twist lock. So I'm putting that on after I put these together. If you're doing just a snap clasp, I would maybe do it now before you put it together. Just it might be hard to get in there and put it on after the fact. So right sides together, we are going to stitch 1/4 of an inch all the way around. We're not doing the top because we have to turn it right side out. Oh, shoot. I hate it when my bottom thread gets caught. I should have held it. Sorry, try that again. And just go slow around those curves. And then you're going to want to trim this down to about 1/8 of an inch. She has that you can do the like pinking shears, notch it. I feel like just trimming it down works pretty well for me. All right. I'm going to turn that right side. Just poke all your corners out really good. There's your flap. Okay, and now I'm going to put the Peltex inside to give it extra support. It should fit in there nicely. I've had no problems with that part. Okay. Make sure it's just all the way down in there. Okay, so I put my Peltex in there. Let's see. Did we top stitch that? Yeah. Okay, Okay, I'm going to top stitch that so it kind of catches that Peltex and puts it into place before I do the snap. Okay. Got it all top stitched, and now we're gonna put the snap in. I'm gonna go, I'm doing a twist lock. I'm gonna go get my stuff and show you how I do it. I have all my stuff that I need to put in my twist lock. You can use scissors, it's totally fine. I bought attachments for my press to do bigger holes. So I bought like a set of these. I'll link it. They're just all different sorts of shapes. This one's perfect for these twist locks. It's the perfect size, so I don't have to use scissors. And then I found someone who sold the attachments for this. I think it was on Facebook. Oof, I have no idea. You just stick these in there. They're pretty awesome. Got my little attachments there. So what did I do last time? Oh yeah. Let me get my piece real quick. So I kind of knew where to do my hole. So I'm going to take this, mark my centers so I know where my center is. Real quick. Okay. And I'm going to lay this on top. You can kind of feel where that hole is too that you cut out for your Peltex, and I'm just lining it up with my Peltex piece, really. Making sure it's centered. Okay, just about right there. And I'm going to draw this. And it does not have to be perfectly where your Peltex piece is. You can cut a part of that out. Okay, you see that right there? And I am going to take my little piece. This is the coolest thing ever. This needs to be pressed down more. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in there. I'm gonna take my little piece and center it on top as best I can here. Yeah. About right there. And there's my hole. Isn't that cool? All right. And then I have to do 2 little notches for the screws too on mine. So I take my hole punch here right alongside it. You could just cut your hole wider too if you need to. Then I have my little twist lock piece. My little handy dandy electric screwdriver that I love, Amazon. I keep it just for my sewing room. Sometimes my kids steal it and I get mad at them. It's mine. Uh-oh, my battery's running out. Okay. Take that apart. Okay. Should fit in there. Yep. Okay. I'm going to put just a tiny bit of glue on it so it doesn't fray and get all messy too. You can put some fray stop or fray check or whatever you want to use. Put that on top. Okay. Put it back together. I think I need a new one. I need a new battery. Hey, Charlotte, will you get me batteries? Please? Let's see what I need. Come here. I need these little ones. Two of the little ones. Hurry. Go run, run, run. Two of them. Okay. Sorry about that. There we go. I'll tighten it up in just a minute. That's what we have. Pretty cool. Thank you, honey. All right. I'm gonna put these on and just tighten it up real quick. Good. And we're good. Yep. All right. So that's what we have. Pretty cool. Again, you could do just a regular magnetic snap there. I would add the male piece to your flap. Got some glue in there. Okay. So let me put this stuff out of the way. And you're going to want to get your finished inside piece back. And our flap is going to go on the, let's see, it's hard to tell. Okay, yeah, on the end where our round part is, our rounded edges are. Is that right? No, it's on the other one. Okay, our not rounded edges. So this side, okay? And we are going to make sure it's centered. I'm going to just do a little. Okay. Want to make sure that's centered there. And then we're going to just baste that on there at an 1/8 inch seam allowance. Because then we're going to add our zipper to this top piece. Okay? All right, baste that on there. All right. So now we want to get, so we've got that on there, okay? Now you want to get your zipper and your zipper tabs. I'm going to grab my pocket linings as well. Okay, so put your zipper tabs on. Does it have you do 2 zipper tabs or 1? I think we just do 1. All right. Sorry, I forget if there was 2 or 1. I think there's just 1. There we go. On the end of our zippers, sew those on, press them out, top stitch. Whoops, I did the wrong seam allowance, do a 4th. They're just extra secure now, right? Okay, to the other side, about a 4th. Press those out and top stitch. And your zipper should be exactly 6 inches. 6 inches long. I'm using a number 5 zipper tape, and I cut it to 6 inches long. Okay. I'm just gonna trim these down so they're all the same width as my zipper. They're a little bit wider. Okay. Got my zipper tape there. So we're going to take this piece, we're going to place it down. We want our zipper to be face down and pulled to the left, okay? I am going to center my zipper here. I'm gonna do a tiny, 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 tiny little. Right there is my center, okay? Just like that. I'm gonna baste this on first. You don't have to, but I just wanna make sure it's going to stay in place because it's kind of thick right here. And I don't want it to move at all when I put my pocket piece on. So I'm just gonna baste this real quick here. And your zipper tab will go over the edges. Like it's not gonna be exactly the same length. So that's why it's important to center your zipper with it. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. I just basted that on there. And then you're going to take your pocket piece, one of them on top, face down. Now, it's important when you sew this piece to make sure after you sew it that you caught your flap in all the way. I made that mistake last time I made it, and I didn't quite catch all of my flap. And so when I turned it all out, my flap was like half out. It wasn't caught all the way. So I'm speaking from experience. I'm getting as close as I can to that bulk of the flap. Okay, you can also trim down your zipper tabs on the end here. You got some extra zipper tabs sticking out. Okay, so I sewed that. I'm gonna double check my flap. Yes, I did it. Make sure that your flap looks good right here, okay? Looks good, looks good. Okay. And then take your flat piece down, or your... Okay, so your pocket piece comes down like that, and I am going to top stitch right here on top right here. I'm not folding it all the way down and top stitching. I'm just sewing it onto my zipper behind it, so it stays down and out of the way. I hope that makes sense. All right. Okay. So next, so that's what that looks like. Okay, so that's going to be like that eventually. So we want to take our next piece, which is a little tricky. Okay, I want to take our body piece, and it's going to be like that. Our zipper is going to be face down on it to the right now. And then you're gonna sandwich your other pocket piece on top of that. Whoops. Right side down, guys. Right side down. Right sides should all be together right now. You should see no right side of your wallet. If you see the right side to something, you've done something not right. I'll show you what I mean. See? Wrong sides, wrong sides. Okay, sew that together. Add a fourth, as close to the zipper as you can get. Okay, yeah. Okay. We are almost done, guys. All right, so that's that. And then I'm going to take this up, and I'm gonna top stitch this with my pocket pulled down in the back. What, Charlotte? Okay. This wallet really does go together really awesome once you do it a couple times. get the gist of it. It flies together. Okay. I don't like how that goes like that. Nothing I can do about that. Okay. So I top stitched that piece. So what we're gonna do next, we want our lining and our outside piece together, and we want our pocket pieces together, okay? We are gonna sew everything except for the opening of our pocket, because that's where we're pulling it through. When we pin it together, you wanna make sure your zipper's open. When we pin it together, you're going to press your zipper tabs towards your pocket piece. So they're going to be pinched into my pocket. It makes it, and just do it as evenly as you can. Okay? Line it up as even as you can. And then just go along and close it all up. Trying to line everything up here as best you can. I like to do my pocket pieces, make sure it's pinched in. You're as even as you can get. Maybe. There we go. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you the mistakes that I have made. First of all, the first thing was I didn't get my my flap in all the way when I did it, which really sucked. I had to unstitch everything and re-sew the flap part with the pocket piece. The other thing I did was, she says to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance along your long sides and a 1/4 inch along the bottom, and I was so determined on doing that 1/2 inch, I caught my flap into my seam, which again sucked. I had to go and unstitch and it was all messed up. So my tips to you are don't catch your flap, or don't catch your flap into your seam when you're sewing it up. I don't think I'm going to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance this time. I'm probably going to do about a 3/8. So I'm going to do a 3/8 inch along here. I'm going to do a 1/4 inch seam allowance along this curved bottom edge and come back up at a 3/8. I'm not sewing closed my pocket because we are turning through. Make sure your zipper is open. All right, let's do it. Sometimes it's hard to get over that zipper tab there. All right, and I should have clipped this together down here. Just a minute. All right, so I'm coming in down here, and I'm going to shorten it to a 1/4 inch seam allowance when I get down here, as best as I can. And then back up to a 3/8. that gets caught over those big seams sometimes. Okay, let me double check I caught everything. Yep, okay. That's what it should look like. All right, turn it out. Wait, do we trim it? Does she trim it? Yep, we're gonna trim our seam allowance real quick. Okay, trim this all down, and then we're gonna turn it right side out, guys. Make sure your zipper's open. Pull that wallet through. It's kind of tough because your flap is kind of big here, so I kind of work my flap through first. And then we'll get everything else here. I do not like turning wallets. It's probably my least favorite thing. I'd rather turn 100 bags. Okay, almost there. Come on. All right. I don't know about you, but my hands get tired. There we go. Yay. Let's just stick everything in place and see where we're at. You gotta poke those zipper tabs out. Looks like I did it. Let me get my tool. There we go. Use some muscle there and get that out. That's better. Let me get the other side. Oh. Okay. Go along the bottom, get it all of our edges poked out there. Good. Yep. Probably could press it if you wanted to. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Super cute. Okay, we're almost there. We need to insert our Peltex, and then we need to put our clasp on. All right, almost there. So get your Peltex. Open your zipper in your pocket. Pull it out your pocket. Okay. You're going to take your Peltex. We'll see if it, you may have to trim it down, you may not. I think, yeah, I don't know if I will or not. Fold it in thirds. Just like that. Make sure your curved edge is down by the curve of your wallet. And stick that sucker in. Now I want my Peltex to be under my pocket on my vinyl side because I'm gonna put my clasp on my vinyl side, and I want that Peltex behind the second part of my twist lock or clasp, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so push your Peltex down in there and make sure it fits good. Okay. All the way down in there. Behind my pocket here. Okay. Oh, I'm not going to have to trim mine. It gives it a nice, good, sturdy feel. Okay. I am going to fill up my wallet full of whatever things I want because I did this mistake last time. I didn't fill it up enough. And when I put my clasp or my turn lock on, it was too low and it didn't fit as much as I wanted it to fit. So it's really important that you fill up your wallet before determining where you want to put your twist lock on this side. Because if you do it low like this, you won't be able to fit hardly anything in it. So it's got to probably be more up like that. Trust me, go get stuff, fill it up, and then we're gonna mark where we want it. Okay, so I filled up my wallet all full. I put a phone in there, I put a checkbook in there, a pen, cards, everything. I got it all full. This is important. Do that before you finish this. So I'm going to close it up and close my, because I know most people like to fill it up with their phone, but it's a lot higher once you fill it up. Do you see how much higher it is when you fold it over? So I'm going to mark that as the place where I want to put it, okay? And make sure when you're marking it that like everything's centered and everything looks good. Yeah, I think that's, I'm gonna just scoot it up just a tiny bit. Give myself a little bit of wiggle room. Okay. And I'm just going to draw a little circle right there. Okay. Unload it. Pull my stuff out. All right. Now, I have the Peltex up against my vinyl side. So I have that protecting my vinyl, okay? And I am going to take my turn lock and center it as best I can over where I marked. Okay, about right there. And press that in there. I'm going to put my hand through so I can like make space between the top and the bottom here. Okay. Put that through, just like that. Now I'm going to get my washer. Stick that in there. Close it up. Okay. And then I am also going to cover it with some tape so it's kind of protected from the inside part of my wallet too. Okay. Take that in there. Hard to do. There we go. Okay. Got that installed. Okay. Now I need to put my nameplate on it real quick. And then we sew up our pocket and we're done. Right? That's it. Super cool. Just gonna put my nameplate on there real quick. Center it as best I can. Got it right there. Make sure I don't go through my pocket. Lift that up. Can't see my marks. Okay. Okay, got my nameplate, and now I'm going to sew up the pocket. Make sure I got my tabs poked out all the way here. All right, so take your pocket, and you're just gonna fold it under, guys. Sorry, I get a little bit crowded up here. Fold it under as best you can. Okay. I just folded it under, and now I'm going to sew that shut. And then we are done. You have yourself a wallet. A very cute wallet. I love the design of this wallet. I don't know why I put it off for so long. Go. It's all done. Stick that in there. You're done. We got ourselves a Marilyn wallet. And that is it. Cute, right? All done. Thanks for watching my video. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, put it in the comments below. Subscribe to my channel. Tell me if there's other things you'd like to see. I try to listen to what people suggest and work on those patterns for them. And I try to follow along the pattern word for word to make it easier. And I'll see you guys again next time. Thank you.